Strength does not come from physical capacity. It comes from an indomitable will. Mahatma Gandhi. Picture this, guys. A land where golden pagodas pierce the sky, where the air hums with the rhythm of ancient traditions, and where women, yes, women, are rewriting the story of courage and resilience in ways that'll make you stop and listen. Welcome to Myanmar, a country that's as complex as it is captivating, and where the women are anything but ordinary. This isn't just another video about facts or stats. No, this is a journey into the heart of what makes Myanmar's women so extraordinary, told through stories that'll stick with you long after the screen fades to black. So grab a seat, maybe a cold drink, and let's dive into a world where women are defying odds, breaking barriers, and showing us all what it means to stand tall. Now, let's set the stage. Myanmar, or Burma as some still call it, is a place where history and struggle collide. It's a nation of over 55 million souls, home to more than 135 ethnic groups, each with its own culture, language, and way of life. From the bustling streets of Yangon to the misty hills of Shan State, this is a land of contrasts, serene temples on one hand, and a turbulent fight for freedom on the other. And right in the middle of it all are the women. Not just standing by, but leading, creating, and sometimes even fighting on the front lines. They're not waiting for permission or applause. They're carving their own paths in a society that's often stacked against them. Why should you care, you ask? Because these women's stories aren't just about Myanmar. They're about what it means to be human, to push back against the odds, to find strength in places you didn't know you had. As men, we often think we know what toughness looks like. But let me tell you, the women of Myanmar are redefining that word in ways that'll make you rethink everything. They're not just surviving, they're shaping the future, whether it's through quiet acts of defiance or loud cries for justice. And trust me, their stories are worth hearing. In this video, we're not going to bore you with a history lesson or a list of dry facts. Instead, we're going to take you on a ride through 6 stories, 6 glimpses into the lives of Myanmar's women that'll make you laugh, maybe choke up a bit, and definitely leave you in awe. From the streets where they protest with nothing but their courage, to the villages where they preserve traditions older than time, these women are the heartbeat of Myanmar. And by the end of this, you'll see why their strength, their grit, and their spirit are something every man can learn from. So, what's coming up? We'll meet women who've turned their traditional longyis skirts into symbols of rebellion, who've faced down tear gas and threats to protect their communities, and who've built lives of meaning in the face of chaos. This isn't about politics or preaching, it's about real people, real struggles, and real triumphs. So stick with me, because the women of Myanmar have a story to tell, and it's one you won't forget. She is clothed with strength and dignity, and she laughs without fear of the future. Let's step into the vibrant, complex world of Myanmar's women, where every day is a dance between tradition and transformation, resilience and rebellion. These women aren't just living life, they're shaping it, with a spirit that's as fierce as it is gentle, as rooted as it is revolutionary. For you guys watching, this isn't just about understanding women from a far-off land. It's about seeing what strength looks like when it's woven into the fabric of everyday life. From the bustling markets of Yangon to the quiet villages of Shan State, the lifestyle and personality of Myanmar's women are a story of balance, courage, and a quiet power that demands respect. So let's walk through their world, step by step, and meet the women who make Myanmar unforgettable. A tapestry of tradition and modernity. Imagine waking up at dawn in a small village in Kayin State. The air is cool, the mist clings to the hills, and a woman named Natu is already up, her hands busy weaving a longi on a wooden loom. The longi, that iconic skirt worn by both men and women in Myanmar, isn't just clothing, it's a symbol of culture, a canvas of identity. Natu's fingers move with the precision of generations, each thread a link to her care and heritage. But here's the kicker. While she weaves, her phone buzzes with orders from a small online shop she runs, selling her textiles to customers in Mandalay and beyond. This is the life of Myanmar's women, rooted in tradition, yet reaching for the future. The lifestyle of women in Myanmar is a delicate balance between honoring the past and embracing the present. In rural areas, where over 70% of Myanmar's population lives, women like Natu are the backbone of their communities. They rise early to tend to rice fields, cook meals over open fires, and care for children and elders. Their days are long, often stretching from sunrise to sunset, filled with tasks that keep the household and village humming. Yet, even in these traditional roles, there's a spark of individuality. Natu doesn't just weave to clothe her family. She's turned her skill into a business, a way to assert her independence in a world that often expects women to stay in the background. In cities like Yangon and Mandalay, the rhythm is different but no less demanding. Take Imyant, a 30-something entrepreneur who runs a tea shop in downtown Yangon. By day, she's serving steaming cups of lapit thok, fermented tea leaf salad, to a mix of locals and tourists, her smile as warm as the tea. By night, she's studying business management online, dreaming of expanding her shop into a chain. Imyant's life is a whirlwind of multitasking. She's a daughter, a sister, a businesswoman, and a student, all at once. Her personality shines through in her quick wit and unshakable optimism, traits that help her navigate a city where economic instability and political unrest are never far away. For urban women, the lifestyle is about seizing opportunities in a rapidly changing world, even when the odds are stacked against them. The personality that defines them. If you were to sit down with a group of Myanmar women, say, over a shared plate of mohinga, the beloved noodle soup, what would strike you as their warmth? There's a Burmese concept called ana, a kind of reluctance to offend or cause embarrassment, and it shapes how women interact. They're approachable, quick to offer a smile or a helping hand, whether you're a stranger or a friend. But don't mistake their gentleness for weakness. Beneath that warmth lies a core of steel, a resilience forged in a country where life is rarely easy. Take Ma Theta, a 25-year-old teacher in Sagling. She's the kind of person who lights up a room with her laughter, her students hanging on her every word as she teaches them English. But Ma Theta's life hasn't been all sunshine. Her village was hit hard by the 2025 earthquake, and she lost her home. Yet, instead of giving up, she organized her students to help rebuild, turning her classroom into a hub for community recovery. Her personality, equal parts compassion and determination, reflects what so many Myanmar women bring to the table: the ability to find hope in the darkest moments and to lift others up along the way. This blend of kindness and grit is something you'll see across Myanmar, from the Chin Hills to the Irrawaddy Delta. Women here are raised with a sense of duty, to family, to community, to culture, but they're also fiercely independent in their own way. They're not loud about it, not in the way we might expect in other parts of the world. Their strength is quiet, expressed in the way they carry burdens without complaint, and the way they find solutions when resources are scarce. It's the kind of strength that doesn't need to shout to be heard. The role of culture and faith. Myanmar is a deeply spiritual country, with Theravada Buddhism shaping much of daily life. For women, this means a connection to rituals and traditions that give structure to their days. In Bagan, you might find Daw Kin, a grandmother in her 60s, offering rice and flowers at a temple before dawn. Her hands, weathered from years of work, move with reverence as she prays for her family's health. Buddhism in Myanmar doesn't just offer spiritual guidance, it's a way for women to find meaning and community. Nuns, or Thilashin, are respected figures, and many women, especially in later years, spend time in meditation retreats or supporting monastic life. But faith isn't just about temples. Women are often the keepers of Nat worship, a pre-Buddhist tradition of honoring spirits. In rural Shan State, a woman like Ma might lead a Nat Pew, a festival where music and dance invite the spirits to bless the village. These rituals are a reminder of women's role as cultural stewards, preserving stories and practices that have survived centuries. Yet, even here, there's a modern twist. Ma Ai's daughter films the Nat Pew for social media, sharing her heritage with a global audience. This fusion of old and new is a hallmark of Myanmar's women. They honor their roots while adapting to a connected world. Defying expectations. Now, let's talk about rebellion. Not the kind with megaphones, but the kind that happens quietly, in the choices women make every day. Myanmar's society is patriarchal, no question. The concept of pan, a spiritual power tied to past deeds, is often used to justify male dominance, suggesting men have more inherent worth. Women are expected to prioritize family over personal ambition, to be modest, to stay out of certain spaces, like the upper levels of pagodas, reserved for men. But Myanmar's women are pushing back, not with anger, but with action. Consider Zarki Win, a woman in her 40s living outside Mandalay. She's a single mother who rides a motorcycle, still a rare sight for women in Myanmar. and works in a textile factory. Zarki could have followed the traditional path: marry young, stay home, let her husband lead. Instead, she chose independence, supporting her kids with her own wages and teaching them that a woman's worth isn't tied to a man's approval. Her personality is bold yet grounded, a mix of defiance and practicality. She's not out to change the world, she's just living her truth, and in doing so, she's challenging every stereotype about what a Myanmar woman should be. Then there's the younger generation, like Ninh Y, a 22-year-old university student in Yangon. Ninh Y is part of Generation Z, the cohort that's grown up with smartphones and social media. She's studying engineering, a field dominated by men, and she's not shy about calling out sexism in her classes. Her Instagram is a mix of study tips, feminist quotes, and photos of her in a longi, proudly embracing her culture while rejecting its outdated norms. Ninh Y's lifestyle is fast-paced, urban, and unapologetically ambitious. She wants to design bridges, not just cross them, and her confidence is infectious. Women like her are rewriting the script, proving that ambition isn't a male trait, it's human. The weight of responsibility. Life for Myanmar's women isn't all about breaking barriers. It's also about carrying heavy loads, both literal and figurative. In rural areas, women like Na Po, a farmer in Kachin State, spend hours hauling water, firewood, and crops. Her hands are calloused, her back aches, but she doesn't complain. For Na Po, this is life: work hard, provide for your family, keep going. Her personality is stoic yet warm, the kind of person who'll share her last bowl of rice with a neighbor. But beneath that toughness, there's a quiet worry about her children's future, about the conflict that's displaced so many in her region, about whether her labor will ever be enough. In urban areas, the burdens are different but no less real. Women like Kin Su, a 35-year-old office worker in Naypyidaw, juggle full-time jobs with household duties. Kin Su leaves home at 6 a.m. to beat the traffic, works a 9-hour shift, then comes home to cook, clean, and help her kids with homework. Her husband helps, but the bulk of the domestic work falls on her shoulders, a pattern that holds true for most Myanmar women, who spend 18.4% of their day on unpaid care work compared to men's 8.2%. Kin Su's personality is patient, almost saintly, but there's a spark of frustration in her eyes. She dreams of a day when her work is valued as much as her husband's, when she can sit down after dinner without a sink full of dishes waiting. This unequal division of labor isn't just a statistic, it's a reality that shapes women's lives. Yet, even under this weight, they find ways to shine. Kin Su, for instance, started a side hustle selling homemade pickles, turning her cooking skills into extra income. It's a small act of agency, but it's hers, and it's a reminder that Myanmar's women don't just endure, they create. The fire of resistance. You can't talk about Myanmar's women without talking about their courage. Since the 2021 military coup, women have been at the forefront of the pro-democracy movement, risking everything for change. Picture Yai Thinzer, a 28-year-old activist in Mandalay. By day, she's a nurse, tending to patients with a calm professionalism. By night, she's organizing protests, her longi skirt swapped for jeans and a mask to hide her identity. Yai Thinzer's personality is fearless yet calculated. She knows the risks, but she also knows silence isn't an option. She's been tear-gassed, threatened, and forced into hiding, yet she keeps going, driven by a belief that her country deserves better. Women like Yai Thinzer have turned traditional symbols into tools of resistance. During protests, some have used their longyis as flags, waving them as a defiant rebuke to the junta. Others have hung menstrual pads in the streets, exploiting a superstition that contact with such items saps soldiers' spiritual power, or pound. It's a bold, almost cheeky act of defiance, and it shows the creativity and courage that define Myanmar's women. They're not just fighting for themselves, they're fighting for their communities, their children, their future. This resistance isn't limited to the streets. In quieter ways, women are pushing back against systemic inequality. In Kaya State, Then Chi, one of the few female village leaders, negotiates with local authorities to secure resources for her community. Her role is groundbreaking. Fewer than 100 of Myanmar's 17,000 ward and village administrators are women, but she carries it with grace and authority. Then Chi's personality is steady, unflappable, the kind of leader who listens before she speaks. Her presence alone challenges the idea that leadership is a man's domain, and her success inspires other women to step up. The beauty of diversity. Myanmar is a mosaic of 135 ethnic groups, and the women of each bring their own flavor to the country's tapestry. In Rakhine State, you'll meet women like Fatima, a Rohingya mother who's faced unimaginable hardship yet still runs a small sewing business to support her family. Her personality is quiet but resolute, her faith in Allah a source of strength. In Chin State, Lal Bayak, a tattooed elder, shares stories of her tribe's history, her face a map of traditional ink. She's proud, unyielding, a living link to a culture under threat. In Mon State, Isander crafts intricate pottery, her hands shaping clay as she dreams of exporting her work abroad. Each woman, each story, adds depth to Myanmar's identity. This diversity shapes their lifestyles too. Rohingya women like Fatima often face exclusion and violence, yet they find ways to survive, whether through small businesses or community networks. Chin women like Lal Bayak maintain traditions like facial tattooing, even as younger generations move to cities. Mon women like Isander blend artistry with ambition, preserving their heritage while eyeing global markets. Despite their differences, these women share a common thread, a refusal to be defined by hardship, a determination to carve out their own space. The challenges they face. Life for Myanmar's women isn't a fairy tale. Gender inequality is real, baked into cultural norms and institutions. The 2008 Constitution, while guaranteeing equal rights, includes clauses that allow discrimination, like reserving certain roles for men. Women earn 25% less than men on average, and their labor force participation has dropped to 41.8% in recent years, compared to 70% for men. Political representation is abysmal. Just 16.83% of parliamentary seats in 2020 were held by women. And then there's gender-based violence. 10.7% of women aged 15 to 49 reported physical or sexual abuse by a partner in 2018, and the true number is likely higher due to underreporting. The 2021 coup and ongoing conflict have made things worse. Women and girls make up 10.4 million of those needing humanitarian aid, facing risks from displacement, sexual violence, and economic collapse. In conflict zones, rape has been used as a weapon of war, particularly against ethnic minorities like the Rohingya. Yet, even in these dark times, women are finding ways to fight back, whether through activism, community organizing, or simply surviving. The light they bring. Despite the challenges, Myanmar's women radiate hope. They're not waiting for someone to save them, they're saving themselves and each other. In Yangon, women like Pyo Lethan, founder of Myanmar's first feminist magazine, Rainfall, are giving voice to stories of resilience and rebellion. In rural areas, women's income-generating groups are pooling resources to start businesses, from weaving cooperatives to food stalls. In classrooms, teachers like Ma Thida are inspiring the next generation to dream bigger, to question, to lead. Their personalities are as varied as their lives, but there's a common thread, a quiet, unshakable belief in their own worth. Whether they're weaving longyis, leading protests, or raising families, Myanmar's women live with purpose. They're not perfect, they'll tell you that themselves, with a laugh, but they're real, and their stories are a testament to what it means to be strong, not in spite of being a woman, but because of it. A call to see them. So guys, what's the takeaway? The women of Myanmar aren't just a footnote in someone else's story, they're the authors of their own. Their lifestyle, from the rice fields to the city streets, is a testament to their adaptability, their creativity, their heart. Their personalities, warm, resilient, defiant, challenge us to rethink what strength looks like. They're not asking for pity or praise, they're asking to be seen, to be heard, to be respected. As we move through this video, we'll dive deeper into their stories, into the protests, the traditions, the dreams that keep them going. But for now, let this sink in. Myanmar's women are a force, not because they're trying to be men, but because they're unapologetically themselves. They're weaving, working, fighting, laughing, and loving in a world that doesn't always make it easy. And if that doesn't earn your respect, I don't know what will. Stay with us, because their story is just getting started. Step into the vibrant streets of Myanmar, where the women don't just wear their clothes, they tell stories with them. From the flowing longy skirts that sway with every step to the intricate thanaka patterns painted on their faces, fashion and beauty here are more than skin deep. They're a celebration of heritage, a quiet rebellion against norms, and a canvas for individuality in a country where tradition and change are in constant conversation. For you guys watching, this is your chance to see how Myanmar's women use style to express who they are, to honor their roots, and to carve out their place in a complex world. So let's walk through the colors, textures, and traditions that make their fashion and beauty so captivating, and meet the women who wear them with pride. The longi, a symbol woven in time. Picture a bustling market in Mandalay at sunrise. The air is thick with the scent of jasmine and fried mohinga, and among the crowd is Nazin, a 32-year-old vendor with a quick smile and a vibrant longi wrapped around her waist. The longi, a tube of fabric about 2 meters long, is Myanmar's most iconic garment, worn by men and women alike. But for women, it's more than just clothing, it's a statement. Nazin's longi is a deep indigo with gold threads woven into a floral pattern, a nod to her Shan heritage. She ties it with a practiced flick, the fabric hugging her frame in a way that's both modest and striking. As she moves through the market, her longi catches the light, drawing eyes not because it's flashy, but because it's her. The longi's origins stretch back centuries, tied to Myanmar's cultural mosaic of 135 ethnic groups. Each group has its own style. Bamar women favor bold colors and intricate weaves, while Karen women might choose stripes or checks in earthy tones. In rural areas, women like Nazin often wear handwoven longyis, crafted on looms passed down through generations. These aren't just garments, they're heirlooms, each thread carrying the story of the weaver's family, village, or tribe. In Shan State, for example, a single longi might take weeks to create, with patterns that symbolize everything from fertility to protection from spirits. But don't think the longi is stuck in the past. In cities like Yangon, women are reinventing it. Take HLA Min, a 27-year-old graphic designer who pairs her longi with a fitted blouse and sneakers, blending tradition with urban edge. HLA Min's longi is silk, dyed a bold crimson, and she wears it shorter than her grandmother would approve, letting her ankles peek out. "It's my way of saying I'm Bamar, but I'm also me," she says with a laugh. She's part of a growing movement of young women who mix longies with modern cuts, think crop tops, leather jackets, or even denim vests, creating a look that's distinctly Myanmar but globally aware. Social media, especially Instagram, has fueled this trend, with influencers showcasing longi outfits that go viral from Yangon to Tokyo. The longi's versatility is its magic. It's practical for Myanmar's humid climate, cool and breathable whether you're farming in Sagaing or negotiating deals in Naypyidaw. It's modest, aligning with cultural expectations of women's dress, yet it's also a canvas for self-expression. During the 2021 protests, women turned their longies into symbols of resistance, waving them as flags or tying them across streets as barricades. The military banned certain patterns associated with the pro-democracy movement, but women kept wearing them, a quiet act of defiance wrapped in fabric. The longi isn't just fashion, it's power. Thanaka, the golden glow of beauty. Now, let's talk about thanaka, the creamy paste that's as much a part of Myanmar's identity as the longi. Walk through any village or city, and you'll see women with golden streaks on their cheeks, foreheads, or noses, sometimes in delicate swirls, sometimes in simple patches. Thanaka comes from the bark of the thanaka tree, ground into a paste with water on a stone slab. It's been used for over 2,000 years, and for Myanmar's women, it's both a beauty ritual and a cultural touchstone. Meet Isandar, a 40-year-old mother in Bagan who applies thanaka every morning. She sits on her porch, grinding the bark with rhythmic circles, her hands moving with the ease of habit. She dabs the paste on her cheeks in a leaf-shaped pattern, a design her mother taught her. "It's not just about looking pretty," she says. "It's about feeling connected to my family, my land." Thanaka is a natural sunscreen, cooling the skin in Myanmar's scorching heat, but it's also a mark of pride. Isandar's daughters, aged 12 and 15, experiment with their own designs, stars, hearts, even abstract swirls, turning thanaka into a playful expression of their personalities. In urban areas, thanaka is evolving. Women like Thirian, a 29-year-old makeup artist in Yangon, use it as a base for modern looks. Thiri applies a thin layer of thanaka, then layers on foundation and highlighter for a glowing, natural finish. "It's my secret weapon," she says, grinning. "Western brands can't replicate this." She's right. Thanaka's unique texture and subtle fragrance are unmistakable, and it's packed with antioxidants that soothe the skin. Beauty blogs and YouTube tutorials have spread thanaka's fame globally, with expatriate Myanmar women in Thailand or Singapore sharing DIY recipes. Yet, even as it goes global, thanaka remains deeply local, a reminder of Myanmar's forests and traditions. Thanaka isn't just for women, but they've made it their own. Each region has its own style. In Rakhine, women prefer thick, round patches. In Kayin, delicate lines are favored. During festivals like Thingyan, the water festival, thanaka designs get bolder, with young women painting intricate patterns that rival tattoos. But beyond aesthetics, thanaka carries cultural weight. It's a unifier across Myanmar's diverse ethnic groups, worn by Bamar, Shan, Mon, and others. For Rohingya women like Fatima in Rakhine State, thanaka is a small act of normalcy in a life marked by displacement, a way to reclaim beauty in the face of hardship. Jewelry, adornment with meaning. Myanmar's women don't just dress, they adorn. Jewelry here isn't about ostentation, it's about storytelling. In Chin State, women like Lal Bayak, a 70-year-old elder, wear heavy silver necklaces and bangles etched with tribal motifs. Her earrings, long and dangling, were a gift from her mother, passed down through generations. These aren't just pretty things, Lal Bayak says, touching her necklace. They're my history. Chin women are known for their bold jewelry, often paired with traditional woven tunics and facial tattoos, a practice fading among the young but preserved by elders like her. In urban areas, jewelry leans more modern but still carries meaning. Consider Zinmar, a 35-year-old lawyer in Mandalay. She wears a single jade pendant, a gift from her grandmother, with her tailored blouse and lung. Jade, known as the Stone of Heaven, is prized in Myanmar, which produces 70% of the world's supply. Zinmar's pendant isn't just beautiful, it's a talisman, believed to bring protection and prosperity. She pairs it with simple gold studs, a nod to her professional life, but the jade is her anchor, a piece of her heritage in a fast-paced world. Gold is another favorite, especially for special occasions. During weddings, women like Kim Myo, a 28-year-old bride in Yangon, are draped in gold, bangles, necklaces, even hairpins. Gold isn't just a status symbol, it's a practical investment in a country where economic instability is common. Kim Myo's gold was bought over years by her family, a safety net she can sell if times get tough. Yet, as she walks down the aisle, the gold catches the light, transforming her into a vision of tradition and strength. Her beauty isn't just in the adornment, it's in the pride she carries, knowing each piece tells a story of sacrifice and love. Ethnic diversity shines through in jewelry too. Kachin women favor amber beads, Mon women wear shell necklaces, and Kaya women don coiled bronze rings around their necks, a tradition that's both striking and controversial, as it's sometimes exploited for tourism. Each piece, whether simple or elaborate, is a badge of identity, a way for women to say, "This is who I am." Hairstyles. Tradition meets innovation. Hair in Myanmar is a canvas of its own. Traditionally, women wear their hair long, often past the shoulders, a symbol of femininity rooted in Buddhist ideals. In rural areas, women like Na Po, a 45-year-old farmer in Kachin, braid their hair tightly for practicality, tucking the ends into a bun secured with a wooden pin. Her hair, jet black with a few silver strands, is a point of pride, cared for with coconut oil and herbal rinses passed down from her mother. "My hair is my crown," she says, and you can see it in the way she carries herself, head held high despite a life of hard labor. In cities, hairstyles are more experimental. Nin Wai, the 22-year-old engineering student we met earlier, rocks a sleek bob with bangs, dyed a subtle auburn. "I wanted something bold but still me," she says. Her Instagram is full of hair inspo, from loose waves to high ponytails, often paired with a longi for contrast. Young women like Nin Wai are influenced by K-pop and Thai fashion, but they adapt trends to fit Myanmar's conservative norms. A bright pink streak might be too much, but a soft ombre or a single braid woven with ribbon? That's just right. For special occasions, hair becomes art. During Thingyan or weddings, women like Imyint, the tea shop owner, visit salons for elaborate upbills adorned with jasmine flowers or gold pins. These styles, inspired by ancient Bamar royalty, take hours to create, with strands twisted into loops or curls that frame the face. The result is regal, a reminder that beauty in Myanmar is about dignity as much as appearance. Even in conflict zones, women find ways to care for their hair, braiding it tightly to stay neat during protests or displacement, a small act of control in chaotic times. Beauty standards, redefining the ideal. Myanmar's beauty standards are shaped by culture, not billboards. Fair skin, a long neck, and a graceful posture are traditionally prized, influenced by Buddhist aesthetics and royal imagery. Thanaka enhances this ideal, giving the skin a smooth, golden glow. But unlike Western beauty culture, Myanmar's standards aren't about chasing youth or perfection, they're about harmony. A woman's beauty is judged by her songma, her inner grace, as much as her appearance. Yet, these standards aren't static. Women like Therion, the makeup artist, are pushing boundaries. "I tell my clients beauty is what you feel, not what you see," she says. Her makeup tutorials emphasize natural looks, dewy skin, subtle lip tints, and a touch of thanaka, over heavy contouring. She's part of a growing movement that celebrates Myanmar's diversity, from the darker skin tones of Rakhine women to the sharp features of Chin women. Social media has amplified this shift, with influencers like Ninwai posting unfiltered selfies, embracing freckles or scars as part of their charm. Still, challenges remain. The preference for fair skin, reinforced by whitening creams flooding the market, can pressure women to lighten their natural tone. In 2023, Myanmar's cosmetics market saw a 15% rise in skin lightening products, despite health warnings about mercury content. Women like Zarki Win, the motorcycle-riding single mom, reject this. "I love my skin," she says, her tan a badge of her outdoor life. Her confidence is a quiet rebellion, inspiring younger women to redefine beauty on their terms. The role of rituals and community. Fashion and beauty in Myanmar aren't solitary acts, they're communal. In villages, women gather to apply thanaka, sharing stories as they grind the bark. In Kayin State, Natu teaches her daughters to weave longyis, passing down patterns and techniques. These rituals strengthen bonds, connecting women across generations. Even in cities, beauty is a shared experience. Salons in Yangon are social hubs, where women like Imyint gossip and laugh as they get their hair styled. "It's not just about looking good," Imyint says. "It's about feeling like I belong." Festivals amplify this sense of community. During Thingyen, women don their finest longyis and thanaka designs, dancing in the streets as water washes away the old year. At Nat Pu spirit festivals, women like Ma wear traditional outfits, longyis, embroidered jackets, and heavy jewelry to honor the spirits. These moments aren't just about beauty, they're about identity, a chance for women to shine as keepers of culture. Challenges and resilience. Fashion and beauty aren't without hurdles. Economic hardship, worsened by the 2021 coup, has made luxuries like silk longyis or gold jewelry out of reach for many. In 2024, inflation hit 26%, and women like Na Po now buy cheaper, machine-made longyis instead of hand-woven ones. Conflict has disrupted supply chains, making thanaka and cosmetics scarce in some areas. For displaced women, like Fatima in Rakhine, beauty rituals are a luxury, yet she still applies thanaka when she can, a small act of defiance against despair. Cultural norms also pose challenges. Women who dress too modernly, say, with short skirts or bold makeup, can face judgment, especially in rural areas. Ninwai has been told her bob is too Western, but she shrugs it off. "I'm not breaking rules, I'm making new ones," she says. Her attitude reflects a broader shift, as women balance respect for tradition with a desire to express themselves. The global stage and local pride. Myanmar's fashion and beauty are gaining global attention. Designers like Mogak Pok Pok, a Yangon-based couturier, are blending longyis with haute couture, showing at Paris Fashion Week in 2024. Her collections, featuring silk longyis with hand-embroidered lotus motifs, celebrate Myanmar's heritage while appealing to international tastes. Meanwhile, thanaka has caught the eye of global beauty brands, with companies like L'Oreal studying its properties for natural skincare lines. Yet, for Myanmar's women, fashion and beauty remain deeply personal. Na Zin doesn't care about Paris runways. She wears her longi for herself, her customers, her community. Isandor's thanaka isn't about trends, it's about her mother's teachings, her connection to Bagan's red earth. These women aren't chasing global approval, they're living their truth, and that authenticity is what makes their style so powerful. A beauty that endures. So guys, what's the story here? Myanmar's women use fashion and beauty to navigate a world of tradition, change, and challenge. Their longyis are more than fabric, they're history, rebellion, identity. Their thanaka is more than makeup, it's a link to the land, a shield against the sun, a canvas for creativity. Their jewelry, their hair, their very presence tells a story of resilience, community, and pride. As we move through this video, we'll see how these women take their strength into other arenas, protests, traditions, dreams. But for now, let's pause and appreciate what they've shown us. That beauty isn't about perfection, but about purpose. Whether they're weaving a longi, painting thanaka, or braiding their hair, Myanmar's women are crafting a legacy that's as enduring as the pagodas that dot their land. They're not just dressing for today, they're dressing for history. Stay with us, because their story is far from over. Gentlemen, let's talk about something universal yet deeply personal: love and dating. In Myanmar, where golden pagodas gleam under the sun and traditions run as deep as the Irrawaddy River, the way women approach romance is a captivating blend of heart, heritage, and quiet rebellion. This isn't a glossy rom-com or a swipe-right dating app scene. It's a world where love is shaped by family expectations, cultural norms, and a society in flux. For Myanmar's women, love is both a dream and a battlefield, a place where they navigate desire, duty, and their own fierce individuality. So buckle up, because we're diving into the stories of how these women love, date, and define relationships in a land where every heartbeat tells a story. This is for you, guys, to see what makes their approach to romance so unique, so grounded, and so worth understanding. The cultural dance of courtship. Imagine a small town in Mon State, where the air smells of sea salt and jasmine. Here, 24-year-old Isandar sits on her family's porch, her longi neatly folded, her cheeks glowing with thanaka. She's texting someone, her smile shy but bright. That someone is Min Thursday, a fisherman she met at a local festival. Their story is classic Myanmar, a chance meeting at a pew, a festival filled with music and dance, where young people steal glances under the watchful eyes of elders. But don't expect a Hollywood-style whirlwind romance. In Myanmar, dating is a slow, deliberate dance, guided by tradition and tempered by respect. Courtship here often begins indirectly. Myanmar's culture values honor, a reluctance to cause embarrassment, so bold moves like asking someone out directly are rare, especially for women. Instead, relationships often start through intermediaries, like friends or family, or in group settings like festivals, temple visits, or community events. Isandar and Min Thursday didn't exchange numbers right away. They met again at a friend's birthday, then a village market, each encounter building trust. Only after weeks of these, accidental, meetings did Min Thursday ask for her phone number, and even then, their chats were polite, almost formal. He asked about my family, my dreams, Isandar says. It made me feel seen. This slow-burn approach reflects Myanmar's conservative values, especially in rural areas where 70% of the population lives. Women are expected to be modest, to prioritize family honor over personal desire. Dating, as Westerners know it, casual dates, public displays of affection, is uncommon. Instead, couples meet in groups or in semi-public spaces like tea shops, where they can talk without raising eyebrows. Physical intimacy before marriage is taboo, and even holding hands can draw stares in smaller towns. Yet, within these boundaries, women like Isandar find ways to express their feelings, through lingering smiles, thoughtful gifts like a woven scarf, or carefully worded texts that say more than they seem. In urban areas like Yangon, the pace is faster, but the roots remain. Nin Y, the 22-year-old engineering student we met earlier, is no stranger to modern dating. She's on WhatsApp, trading memes with a guy she met at university, a budding software developer named Anko. Their dates are low-key, grabbing street food at Bagyok Market, studying together at a cafe, or strolling along Kendogi Lake at sunset. Nin Y is bold by Myanmar standards. She initiated their first coffee meetup, but she's still careful. I like him, but I'm not rushing, she says. My family would flip if I brought home a boyfriend too soon. Her caution isn't just about tradition. It's about balancing her ambitions with the expectations of a society that still sees marriage as a woman's ultimate goal. The weight of family and tradition. Love in Myanmar doesn't happen in a vacuum. It's a family affair. For women, dating often means navigating a web of expectations, where parents, siblings, and even aunts have a say. Take Ma Theta, the 25-year-old teacher from Sagaing. She's been seeing a fellow teacher, Zaw Min, for a year, but their relationship is still a secret. My parents want me to marry someone from our village, someone Bamar like us, she says. Zaw Min is Kachin, and while Ma Theta doesn't care about ethnicity, her family does. Interethnic relationships, while more common among the young, can spark tension in a country with 135 ethnic groups, each proud of its identity. Family approval is crucial, especially in rural areas. When Isandar and Min Thursday got serious, he visited her family with gifts, tea, fruit, a respectful bow. Her parents grilled him. What's his job? Can he provide? Is he devout? In Myanmar, a man's character and stability often matter more than his charm, and women are taught to value security over passion. This isn't cold pragmatism. It's survival in a country where economic hardship and political unrest are constant. Isandar's mother, a widow who raised 3 kids alone, wants her daughter to have a partner who can weather life's storms. I want love, Isandar says. But I also want a future. Marriage is the unspoken endgame for most relationships. Casual dating, while growing in cities, is still rare. Women face pressure to marry young, ideally by their mid-20s, because societal norms tie a woman's worth to her role as a wife and mother. The 2018 Myanmar Demographic and Health Survey found that 59% of women aged 20 to 24 were married, compared to 35% of men, reflecting the gendered expectations. For women like Mathita, this pressure is a constant hum in the background, even as she builds her career. I love teaching, she says, but my aunts keep asking when I'll settle down. It's exhausting, yet women are pushing back. In urban areas, more women are delaying marriage to pursue education or careers. Ninwai, for instance, has no plans to marry before 30. I want to be an engineer first, she says. Love can wait. Her attitude reflects a broader shift. Between 2010 and 2020, the average age of first marriage for women rose from 22 to 25 in cities, according to government data. This shift isn't just about ambition, it's about redefining what love means, from a duty to a choice. The role of faith and rituals. Myanmar's spiritual life, rooted in Theravada Buddhism for 89% of the population, shapes how women approach love. Buddhist teachings emphasize compassion, respect, and harmony, values that women like Na Tu, the weaver from Kayin, bring to relationships. Na Tu, now 35, married her husband after a courtship guided by temple visits and shared offerings. We prayed together at the pagoda, she says. It showed me his heart. For many women, a partner's devotion, whether to Buddha or family, signals his worth. Temples aren't just places of worship. They're social hubs where young people meet, exchange shy glances, and sometimes fall in love under the guise of piety. Other faiths play a role too. Among Christian Kachin women, like Mathita's boyfriend Zaw Min, church is a key meeting ground. Muslim Rohingya women, like Fatima, often meet partners through community events, though their choices are constrained by displacement and conservative norms. In animist traditions, like those of some Chin women, love might be sealed with rituals invoking Nat spirits, ensuring blessings for the couple. These spiritual practices ground love in something bigger, giving women a framework to navigate its complexities. Weddings are where faith and love collide in a burst of color. A Bamar wedding, like Kinmyo's in Yangon, is a multi-day affair with gold jewelry, longyis, and offerings to monks. The couple might consult an astrologer to pick an auspicious date, a common practice across ethnic groups. For women, these rituals aren't just tradition, they're a moment to shine, to step into their role as a bride with pride. Kinmyo's wedding was a celebration of her family's sacrifices, her gold bangles a symbol of their investment in her future. I felt like a queen, she says, and you can see why. In Myanmar, a bride isn't just a woman in love, she's a symbol of hope, continuity, and community. Love in the time of conflict. Myanmar's recent history, especially the 2021 military coup, has reshaped love and dating in profound ways. Conflict has torn families apart, displaced millions, and made stability a luxury. For women like Yai Thinzer, the 28-year-old activist and nurse, love is a risk. She's in a relationship with another activist, a man she met during protests. Their dates are clandestine, held in safe houses or under the cover of night, always aware that arrest or worse looms. We don't talk about marriage, she says. We talk about surviving. Their love is fierce, fueled by shared purpose, but it's also fragile, shadowed by the violence around them. The coup has also empowered women in unexpected ways. During protests, women like Yai Thinzer stood shoulder to shoulder with men, defying stereotypes of fragility. Some met partners in the heat of resistance, their bonds forged in tear gas and courage. These relationships are less about romance and more about partnership, a mutual commitment to a cause. Yet, the cost is high. Many women have been arrested, tortured, or forced into hiding, their love stories interrupted by a brutal regime. As of 2025, over 10.4 million people, half of them women, need humanitarian aid, And for many, love is a distant dream compared to survival. Even in less extreme circumstances, conflict shapes dating. In rural Kachin, Na Po, the farmer, worries about her daughter's future. Who will marry her if our village is always under threat? She asks. Displacement camps, where 2.6 million people live, are tough places for romance. Women like Fatima, the Rohingya mother, face arranged marriages as a means of security, their choices limited by poverty and persecution. Yet, even here, love finds a way, through stolen glances, whispered promises, or a shared bowl of rice in a camp kitchen. The modern shift, dating apps and independence, urban Myanmar is flirting with modernity, and dating apps are part of the mix. Apps like Badu and Myanmar-specific platforms like Mingalar have gained traction in Yangon and Mandalay, especially among Gen Z. Nyanwai tried Mingalar for a month, mostly for laughs. It's fun, but it's not serious, she says. Guys online are too forward. Her experience reflects a broader truth. While apps offer freedom, they clash with Myanmar's conservative norms. Women face judgment for being too available online, and many, like Nyanwai, prefer meeting people in person, where trust can grow organically. Social media, though, is a game changer. Platforms like Facebook and Instagram let women connect subtly, sharing stories or liking posts to signal interest. Therion, the makeup artist, met her boyfriend through Instagram DMs after he commented on her thanaka tutorial. He was respectful, not pushy, she says. Their relationship moved offline slowly, with group hangouts before one-on-one dates. Social media gives women like Theri control. They can set boundaries, ghost if needed, and build connections on their terms. This digital shift ties to a bigger trend: women's growing independence. More women are entering the workforce. 41.8% of women are employed, per 2023 data, and financial independence is reshaping love. Zarki Win, the motorcycle-riding single mom, dated briefly but chose to stay single. I don't need a man to complete me, she says. I want a partner, not a boss. Her attitude is echoed by urban women who prioritize careers or education over early marriage. This shift challenges the traditional narrative that a woman's life revolves around finding a husband, giving women like Zarki the freedom to define love on their terms. Challenges and double standards. Love isn't all jasmine flowers and pagoda sunsets. Myanmar's patriarchal norms create hurdles for women in dating. The concept of pan, a spiritual power tied to men, reinforces male dominance, implying women should defer to their partners. Double standards are rife. Men can date freely, but women risk being labeled loose for the same behavior. Public displays of affection, even hand-holding, can tarnish a woman's reputation, especially in rural areas. Nyanwai once got scolded by an aunt for laughing too loudly with Anko in a tea shop. It's ridiculous, she says. He's allowed to be himself, but I'm not. Gender-based violence is another shadow. The 2018 Demographic and Health Survey reported that 10.7% of women aged 15 to 49 experienced physical or sexual abuse by a partner, and cultural stigma often silences survivors. Dating can be a minefield, with women like Ma Theta wary of men who seem controlling. I want someone who respects me, not someone who thinks he owns me, she says. The coup has worsened this, with reports of sexual violence by soldiers targeting women in conflict zones, particularly ethnic minorities like the Rohingya. Economic pressures also complicate love. With inflation at 26% in 2024, many families expect a groom to provide a dowry or financial stability, putting pressure on women to choose practical partners. Isandar's mother subtly nudges her toward a wealthier suitor, but she's holding out for Min Thursday. He's not rich, but he's kind, she says. For women, these choices are a balancing act: heart versus head, love versus duty. The beauty of their approach. What makes Myanmar's women so remarkable in love is their authenticity. They don't chase fairy tales. They build relationships grounded in respect, shared values, and resilience. Isandar's quiet trust in Min Thursday, built through months of small gestures, shows a patience that's rare in a fast-paced world. Nyanwai's refusal to settle for less than a partner who supports her dreams reflects a confidence that's both modern and deeply Myanmar. Iai Thinzur's love, forged in the crucible of protest, is a testament to courage, proving that even in chaos, connection matters. Their approach is shaped by community, not just individual desire. Love here is about more than two people. It's about families, villages, shared histories. When Na Tu married, her entire village celebrated, weaving longyis for the ceremony. When Kim Myo walked down the aisle, her gold jewelry wasn't just adornment, it was her family's love made tangible. This communal spirit gives Myanmar's women a groundedness, a sense that love is bigger than themselves. Yet they're also carving out space for individuality. Women like Zarki Win, who choose singlehood over societal pressure, or Nin Wai, who dates on her terms, are redefining romance. They're not rejecting tradition, they're expanding it, proving that love can be traditional and progressive, spiritual and practical, all at once. A love that inspires. So guys, what can we take from this? Myanmar's women approach love with a depth that's humbling. They navigate a world of expectations, family, culture, conflict, with grace, courage, and a quiet insistence on their own worth. Their dating lives, from shy festival glances to clandestine protest meetings, are a masterclass in balancing heart and head. They don't just fall in love, they choose it, carefully, deliberately, with eyes wide open. As we move through this video, we'll explore how these women channel their strength into other realms, protests, traditions, legacies. But for now, let's sit with what they've shown us, that love in Myanmar is a story of connection, not possession, of resilience, not fragility, of women who know their value and won't settle for less. Whether they're texting in Yangon or praying in a pagoda, they're writing love stories that endure, not because they're perfect, but because they're real. Stay with us, because their journey is far from over. Alright guys, we've walked through the vibrant lives, bold fashion, and heartfelt romances of Myanmar's women, but now it's time to dive into something unexpected. These women aren't just living their stories, they're rewriting the rules in ways that'll make you lean in and listen. From defying ancient superstitions to leading revolutions, the women of Myanmar are full of surprises that challenge stereotypes and redefine what strength looks like. This isn't a list of dry trivia, it's a journey into the lesser-known truths that make these women extraordinary. So, let's unravel the surprising facts about Myanmar's women, told through the lives of those who embody them, and see why their stories are a wake-up call for every man watching. Fact 1. They've turned menstrual taboos into weapons of resistance. Let's start with something that sounds wild but is pure genius. In Myanmar, menstruation is steeped in taboos, tied to the concept of pan, a spiritual power believed to reside in men. The idea is that contact with menstrual blood or items like women's underwear can sap a man's pan, weakening his authority. Sounds like an outdated superstition, right? Well, Myanmar's women have flipped this belief into a tool of defiance, and it's one of the most surprising acts of resistance you'll ever hear. Meet Yai Thinzer, the 28-year-old activist we met in the love and dating segment. In 2021, during the protests against the military coup, Yai Thinzer and other women did something unthinkable. They strung sanitary pads and women's longyis across streets as barricades. Why? Because soldiers, steeped in the belief that such items were impure, refused to touch or cross them, fearing a loss of their spiritual power. We laughed as we hung them up, Yai Thinzer says, her eyes glinting. They're so scared of our power, they won't even touch a pad. This wasn't just a prank, it was a calculated move, exploiting cultural fears to slow down armed forces. In Mandalay, protesters reported that these makeshift barriers bought them precious minutes to escape tear gas and bullets. This tactic spread like wildfire. Women in Yangon tied underwear to bamboo poles, waving them like flags during marches. In Sagaing, they draped longyis across roads, knowing soldiers would hesitate to approach. The military, furious, banned such acts, but the women kept going, turning a source of shame into a symbol of power. It's a reminder that Myanmar's women don't just fight with words or weapons, they fight with wit, using the very beliefs that oppress them to outsmart their oppressors. This surprising fact shows their creativity and courage, proving that even in the face of tanks, a woman's defiance can be unstoppable. Fact 2. They're leading Myanmar's tech revolution, quietly. You might picture Myanmar as a land of temples and rice fields, but here's a shocker. Its women are driving a tech revolution, often from the shadows. Myanmar's digital landscape has exploded since the internet became widely accessible in the mid-2010s, with 43% of the population online by 2024. And women, despite facing barriers in education and employment, are at the forefront, coding, innovating, and building apps that are changing lives. Take Nin Wai, our 22-year-old engineering student from Yangon. She's not just studying circuits, she's part of a team developing a mobile app called Pi Thursday, which connects rural farmers to urban markets. Nin Wai coded the back end, ensuring the app runs smoothly even on low-bandwidth networks. I want to make life easier for people like my aunt in Shan State, she says. Her team, mostly women, launched the app in 2024, and it's already helped 5,000 farmers sell directly to buyers, cutting out exploitative middlemen. This isn't a one-off. Women make up 30% of Myanmar's tech workforce, a number that's climbing despite the coup's disruptions. What's surprising isn't just their presence but their impact. In a country where only 41.8% of women are in the labor force, tech offers a rare space for independence. Women like Thirion, the makeup artist, have pivoted to tech side hustles, running e-commerce sites for beauty products. Others, like Myanmar, the lawyer, use platforms like Facebook to advocate for legal aid, reaching thousands with a single post. Even in conflict zones, women are using tech creatively. In Kachin, Na Po's daughter, a 19-year-old named Lapai, teaches coding to displaced youth using smuggled laptops, helping them build skills for an uncertain future. The catch? They're doing this against massive odds. Internet shutdowns, which hit 54 days in 2023, disrupt their work. Gender biases in education mean only 18% of STEM graduates are women. Yet, they persist, often teaching themselves via YouTube or free online courses. Ninwai learn Python from a pirated ebook, staying up past midnight after classes. Their resilience is a quiet revolution, proving that Myanmar's women aren't just keeping up, they're leading the charge in a digital age. Fact 3. They're preserving ancient martial arts as cultural warriors. Here's something you probably didn't expect. Myanmar's women are keeping the country's ancient martial arts alive, not just as fighters but as cultural guardians. Bando and Lethwei, traditional martial arts, are often seen as male domains, with their brutal kicks and bare-knuckle strikes. But women like Kin Su, the 35-year-old office worker from Naypyidaw, are stepping into the ring, literally and figuratively, to preserve these practices and their spiritual roots. Kin Su grew up watching her brothers train in Bando, a martial art that blends self-defense with Buddhist philosophy. At 20, she demanded to join, despite her father's protests that it was unladylike. Now, she's a Bando instructor, teaching women and girls in her community. It's not about fighting, she says. It's about discipline, about knowing your strength. Her classes, held in a dusty courtyard, mix punches with meditation, emphasizing balance over aggression. Her students, ranging from teens to grandmothers, learn to defend themselves while honoring a tradition that dates back centuries. What's surprising is the scale of women's involvement. In Shan State, women's Bando clubs have sprung up, with over 1,000 female practitioners by 2024. In Yangon, Imyint, the tea shop owner, trains in Lethwei, a bare-knuckle boxing style, and competes in local tournaments. People stare when I step into the ring, she says, grinning. But I don't care. I'm here to win. These women aren't just preserving martial arts, they're challenging gender norms in a society where women are often expected to be soft and submissive. Their training grounds are spaces of empowerment, where they build confidence and community. This isn't just about physical strength. Bando and Lethwei are tied to Myanmar's animist and Buddhist traditions, with rituals honoring Nat spirits before matches. Women like Kin Su lead these ceremonies, ensuring the cultural heart of the arts isn't lost. In a country where conflict threatens heritage, their work is vital, a surprising testament to how women are safeguarding Myanmar's soul through sweat and spirit. Fact 4. They're breaking barriers as village leaders. In a patriarchal society where men hold most leadership roles, here's a fact that'll raise your eyebrows. Myanmar's women are stepping up as village leaders, reshaping communities from the ground up. With only 100 women among 17,000 ward and village administrators nationwide, their presence is rare but powerful, and their impact is rewriting the narrative of who can lead. Consider Thanchi, a 42-year-old leader in Kaya State. She became her village's administrator in 2022, a role traditionally held by men. Then she negotiates with local authorities for resources, mediates disputes, and organizes aid for displaced families. At first, the men didn't listen, she says. But I kept showing up, and now they respect me. Her leadership style is collaborative, rooted in the communal spirit of her Kaya culture. She's secured clean water for 200 households and rebuilt a school damaged by conflict, earning her village's trust. What's surprising is how these women lead despite systemic barriers. Myanmar's 2008 constitution reserves key roles for men, and cultural norms often exclude women from public spaces. Yet, women like Thanchi are carving out space, often in crisis zones where male leaders have fled or been arrested. In Rakhine, women like Fatima, the Rohingya mother, have taken informal leadership roles in displacement camps, distributing food and advocating for healthcare. Their authority comes not from titles but from action, a quiet revolution in a country where only 16.83% of parliamentary seats were held by women in 2020. These leaders face risks. Then she has received threats from local militias, but they persist, driven by a sense of duty. Their success is inspiring others. In 2024, women's leadership training programs, run by NGOs, saw a 20% increase in applicants. This fact shows that Myanmar's women aren't waiting for permission to lead, they're taking the reins, surprising everyone but themselves. Fact 5. They're pioneering environmental activism. Myanmar's women are not just surviving environmental challenges. They're leading the fight to protect their land, and their efforts are nothing short of astonishing. Myanmar faces deforestation, flooding, and climate change, with 2024 seeing record monsoon damage. Women, often the most affected by these crises, are stepping up as environmental warriors, using traditional knowledge and modern advocacy to save their ecosystems. Meet Na Tu, the weaver from Kayin. Beyond her loom, she's a leader in her village's reforestation project. After floods destroyed crops in 2023, Na Tu rallied her community to plant 10,000 teak and bamboo trees, using techniques her grandmother taught her to prevent soil erosion. "This land is our mother," she says. "We can't let it die." Her project, funded by a local NGO, has restored 50 hectares and inspired nearby villages to follow suit. Na Tu's knowledge of native plants, passed down through women in her family, is key to the project's success. In urban areas, women like Zarki Win, the single mom, are advocating for cleaner cities. Zarki organizes weekly cleanups in Mandalay, targeting plastic waste clogging the Irrawaddy River. "I want my kids to breathe clean air," she says. Her group, mostly women, has collected 2 tons of waste since 2023, partnering with schools to teach recycling. What's surprising is the scale. Women lead 60% of Myanmar's grassroots environmental initiatives, per a 2024 UN report, despite limited access to funding or formal education. These efforts come with risks. Environmental activists face harassment from corporations and the military, which profits from illegal logging. Na Tu's village was threatened by a timber company, but she stood firm, mobilizing women to block access roads. Their courage, rooted in a deep connection to the land, is a surprising force, showing that Myanmar's women are not just victims of climate change, they're its fiercest opponents. Fact 6. They're redefining spirituality as feminist icons. Myanmar is a spiritual nation, with 89% of its people practicing Theravada Buddhism. But here's a surprising twist. Women are reshaping spirituality in ways that challenge patriarchal norms. While Buddhist nuns, or Thilashin, don't have the same status as monks, women are carving out sacred spaces, blending faith with feminism in ways that are quietly revolutionary. Take Daw Kin, the 60-year-old grandmother from Bagan. She's a Thilashin who runs a meditation center for women, teaching mindfulness and Buddhist ethics. "Men say women can't reach enlightenment," she says, her voice calm but firm. "I say, watch us." Her center, opened in 2020, has trained 3,000 women, from teens to elders, offering a space to heal from trauma and assert their spiritual worth. Daw Kin's teachings emphasize compassion and strength, challenging the idea that women are spiritually inferior. Women are also leading in Nat worship, the animist tradition predating Buddhism. In Shan State, Ma'ai, the festival organizer, is a Nat Kadal, a spirit medium who channels Nat spirits during ceremonies. Her role, once male-dominated, is now largely female, with women like Ma'ai using their spiritual authority to advocate for community needs, like clean water or schools. "The spirits listen to us," she says. So should the men. What's surprising is how these women are redefining sacred roles. In 2024, female-led Thilashin ordinations rose by 15%, despite resistance from male clergy. Women are also blending spirituality with activism. Daw Kin's Center offers counseling for coup survivors, while Ma'ai's Nat Pure raises funds for displaced families. Their work challenges the notion that spirituality is passive, showing that Myanmar's women are holy warriors, reshaping faith with every prayer. Fact 7. They're global artists telling Myanmar's story. Myanmar's women are taking their voices to the world through art, and their impact is stunning. From painting to music, they're using creativity to share their country's struggles and beauty, often at great personal risk. This isn't just art, it's a global cry for recognition. Consider Pyo Lethan, the founder of Rainfall, Myanmar's first feminist magazine. She's also a poet whose work has been published in London and Tokyo. Her 2023 collection, Irrawaddy Dreams, captures the pain of the coup through verses about blood-soaked longyis and silenced pagodas. "I write to keep Myanmar alive," she says. Her poems, smuggled out during internet blackouts, have been read at UN forums, amplifying women's voices globally. In music, women like HLA Min, the graphic designer, are making waves. She's part of Yangon Sisters, an all-female band blending traditional song harp with punk rock. Their 2024 single, Freedom's Pulse, went viral on SoundCloud, despite being banned by the junta. "We sing for the girls who can't," HLA Min says. Their concerts, held in secret, draw hundreds, with lyrics calling for democracy and women's rights. What's surprising is the risks they take. Artists face arrest or exile. Pyo Lethan lives in Thailand, unable to return home. Yet, their work resonates, with Rainfall reaching 50,000 readers worldwide and Yangon Sisters touring Southeast Asia. These women are Myanmar's storytellers, using art to fight erasure and inspire change, proving that a paintbrush or guitar can be as powerful as a protest. The power of these surprises, these facts aren't just trivia, they're a window into the soul of Myanmar's women. EI Thinzer's sanitary pad barricades show their ingenuity, turning taboos into triumphs. Min Y's coding revolution reveals their ambition, building futures in a digital age. Kin Su's martial arts classes prove their strength, preserving culture with every punch. Then Chi's leadership, Natu's environmental fight, Dawkin's spiritual rebellion, and Pyo Lethan's global art all underscore one truth: Myanmar's women are defying expectations, not with loud proclamations, but with quiet, relentless action. What makes these facts surprising is the context. Myanmar's women face systemic barriers. Only 41.8% are employed, 10.7% report partner violence, and political representation lags at 16.83%. The coup has displaced 2.6 million, half of them women, and inflation hit 26% in 2024, squeezing their resources. Yet, they're not just surviving, they're innovating, leading, creating. Their stories challenge the narrative of victimhood, showing that strength isn't about power or privilege, it's about resilience, creativity, and heart. A call to listen. So guys, what's the takeaway? Myanmar's women are a force, surprising us with their courage, ingenuity, and vision. They're not waiting for the world to notice, they're demanding it, whether through a coded app, a painted poem, or a longy waved in defiance. As we head to the final part of this video, we'll see how they're shaping Myanmar's future, from protests to legacies. But for now, let these facts sink in. These women are rewriting what's possible, not despite their challenges, but because of them. They're not just Myanmar's heart, they're its pulse, its fire, its future. Stay with us, because their story is one you can't unhear. We've journeyed through the heart of Myanmar, guys, and what a ride it's been. From the golden pagodas to the bustling streets, we've met women who are the pulse of this nation, women who weave their heritage into longyis, paint their faces with thanaka, love with courage, and defy the odds with every step. These aren't just stories. They're a testament to what it means to live with purpose, to stand tall in a world that doesn't always make it easy. As we wrap up, let's reflect on the women of Myanmar, not as distant figures, but as a force that challenges us all to rethink strength, resilience, and what it means to be human. Think about Na Tu, threading her loom with the wisdom of generations, or EI Thinzer, turning sanitary pads into symbols of rebellion. Picture Nin Y, coding a future for farmers, or Then Chi, leading her village through chaos. These women aren't waiting for the world to change, they're changing it, one quiet act at a time. Their lives, from rural rice fields to Yangon's tea shops, show us that strength isn't about loud bravado. It's in the way they balance tradition with ambition, the way they love fiercely despite uncertainty, the way they preserve their culture while pushing for progress. As men, we can learn from that. Their grit, their grace, their refusal to be boxed in, it's a call to respect not just them, but the potential in everyone. Myanmar's women are more than their challenges. Yes, they face patriarchy, conflict, and economic strain. 10.4 million need aid, inflation bites at 26%, and gender gaps persist. But they're not defined by struggle. They're defined by action, weaving, fighting, coding, leading, creating. They're the heartbeat of a nation, proving that power doesn't need a megaphone. It shines in a smile, a protest, a prayer. Their stories remind us that no matter where you are, no matter the odds, you can carve your own path, just as they do every day. So, what's the final word? See them. Hear them. Respect them. The women of Myanmar aren't asking for pity, they're demanding recognition, and they've earned it. Their lives are a mirror, reflecting what's possible when you refuse to give up. Take that with you. Let it inspire you to honor the women in your own world, to listen to their stories, to value their strength. Because if Na too can weave a future, if Ei Thinzer can face down soldiers, if Nin Y can code a revolution, then we can all do more, be more, live more. Thank you for joining this journey. Myanmar's women have shown us their heart. Now it's up to us to carry their stories forward. Keep watching, keep learning, and let's give these women the respect they've always deserved. Their story doesn't end here, and neither does ours.